Oh shoot, that was a gun.
Whoa! Oh my god! This is so freaking nuts!
Some encounters are terrifying because they happen in places that look completely harmless. A peaceful waterfall turns into a near-drowning rescue, while a quiet Appalachian Trail reveals a silent figure watching from the trees. So, when danger hides inside an ordinary trip, would you notice it in time? This clip was recorded by a 39-year-old woman named Farah Putri Mulian. She was swimming at Dialuma Falls while filming the scene on her GoPro for a travel vlog. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The water looked still, the forest surrounding her was beautiful, and the location appeared like the kind of place where danger would never suddenly arrive. But that calm did not stay. Within the next moments, the footage revealed how fast an ordinary outing can become life-threatening, regardless of where you are. While Farah continued filming, she suddenly heard shouting behind her. When she looked back, she realized something had gone wrong.
My injury at the sea. Why?
Thank you. Sorry, nobody cared. Okay.
No, he was pulling me down. Oh god. Yes, I'm good. It's just that he was pulling me down.
A group of friends was in the water, but they did not appear to be strong swimmers. One man moved too far from shore, entered deeper water, and started fighting to stay up. At first, the others believed he was fine, but when he failed to return, they became terrified. Farah did not stop to hesitate. She responded instantly and went in after him. In the video, the man appears to grab at her while he struggles beneath the surface. Even so, Farah was able to get him out. When she brought him back, he appeared nearly unconscious. He could barely move or focus his eyes as his friends helped pull him from the water. They thanked Farah for rescuing their friend. The moment is a harsh reminder: never go into natural water without someone nearby who truly knows how to swim. Had Farah not been there, he could have drowned in that spot, while his own friends were too scared of going under. Everyone lived, but the video leaves. One question: was this only a fortunate rescue or a warning before something worse happens? Jesse Carr's channel is centered on seeking out overlooked destinations many travelers never consider, including quiet paths, hidden routes, and isolated natural spots. On September 15, 2025, she traveled to a remote waterfall in Samoa, planning to experience the clear blue water and thick tropical scenery. She did not anticipate an encounter uncomfortable enough to make her question how she handles solo travel. Once she reached the area, Jessie was struck by how beautiful and secluded it felt. The view seemed almost unreal, with smaller cascades spilling downward before joining the deeper pools beneath them. Excited, but alone with no one beside her, she left the car behind and carefully began moving through the location. Before long, Jessie noticed a nearby man who kept staying close. He offered help in a way that felt awkward, and continued trailing her as she moved from one pool to another.
Are you okay? All good? Jesse. Pardon? I can't remember the name. I don't remember the name. Sorry. There's a man and he's kind of just like hanging around me. Anyway. It'd be good to have rock shoes or something. I feel like that man was like waiting for me to hop in so he could hop in or something. know why.
At first, he seemed harmless, even polite, but it soon became clear that the attention was making her uncomfortable. That was when the moment began to feel wrong. Even though he assisted her through parts of the area and appeared friendly at first, his efforts to get nearer slowly began crossing her personal limits. Jessie found herself torn between remaining polite and understanding that letting someone ignore her comfort could put her at risk. Soon after, the encounter grew more intense from there.
Because I just want to be like by myself, with no men around, preferably. Okay, oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! You scared me. Pardon? Cold, yeah. I'm 25. Pardon? A hole. Oh, it's like a cave. Is it a cave? I'm okay. You go. I'll follow you.
While Jessie continued making her way around the waterfall, she thought about how hard it can be to balance trust with safety while traveling alone, especially as a woman in places she does not know. Although the man helped take pictures of her, Jessie felt a stronger need to set firm boundaries, understanding that being kind or courteous should never come before personal safety. After everything, Jessie still admitted that the waterfall itself was stunning, and that the opening moments there had felt genuinely peaceful. Incidents like this can make viewers think about how quickly a calm trip can shift when someone unexpected appears nearby. Maybe it was only poor timing or intentions that were misread, but it still leaves one simple question when you travel alone in remote areas. How do you know when to trust the moment and when to walk away fully? What would you do if you walked into an area almost nobody visits, then discovered something concealed inside the forest? That is how this video starts. On January 20th, 2026, an unsettling clip was posted to YouTube by a channel known as Creepy Travels. In the footage, the uploader enters an isolated restricted zone within a Tennessee state forest. He is searching for possible traces of feral people, described as wild humans who spent years living outside society. He had looked for signs like this before, and never uncovered anything, so the trip begins like another ordinary walk through the trees. But the farther he moves in, the more the video begins to shift. Somewhere in the woods he finds something unexpected, and from that point forward, the quiet search no longer feels ordinary.
What is that? I see a red. Yeah, I see it on my phone. I know y'all can see it. Is that red eyes? I knew I shouldn't have come in this part. This is the part that nobody's ever around. I just come in here because that guy jumped out. I don't know. I'm thinking that's a landmarker. It's not blinking or nothing. It's one, so it can't be eyes. Oh my God. That is a shack. This is state property. I just heard something too. What is this? That is a fence post, one of those metal fence posts with metal wiring. Hello? Hello? Anybody there? I think I'm about to be killed or something. Look at that. Stuck in the ground. Oh. What is that? Orange rope and a tree. That reflector. Is that a motorcycle? Is that a door? Hello? This is supposed to be here. This is state land. This ain't private property. So I ain't worried about walking up on somebody's land. It's like a caged in area. off to the side. Those are old adult bicycles. I mean, that's an old 70s model there. This can't be here. This is state land. Why is this here? I mean, this ain't no ranger station. Bunch of gas jugs. This is crazy. I just heard somebody. I'm telling you, I'm hearing somebody. Metal roof. That's a door. Hello? Anybody in there? I don't mean you no harm. This is old. Bet you nobody has come across this 20, 30 years. Oh, shoot. The hinge on that piece of wood, that's new wood. That's not old. Somebody's... Well, I just know that hasn't been out here that long. Look at that piece of wood. That's fresh. Hello? What in the hell? Yeah. Candles. A lot of fragrance to that. I am freezing my butt off, people. What is this place? Oh my God. This place has been swept. This thing should be full of hornets, wasps, and spider webs. What is going on? And look at that. That is clean, people. What in the fuck is that? Chains to the floor, chains to the wall. Look, I'm not trying to boost this or anything, people. There's a blood stain on the floor. Oh, shoot. What's that? Cooler. Let's see what's in the cooler. How do you open this thing? I can't do nothing. Oh. One-handed. A cigarette. Shh. Oh, goddamn. Oh, shit. Somebody's got a four-wheeler. And it is fucking close. I can't shine the light that way. I'm cutting all this off. I'll get back with y'all. Somebody was in a side-by-side. They went back up through the woods, back the way I come in from that road. They've been sitting there the whole time I've been in this cabin. I didn't hear nobody walk up to the cabin while I was in there. I guess they didn't know if I was a ranger or... I don't know. Oh, shoot, that was a gun. 6 gunshots.
It is difficult to know what he encountered out there. Restricted forest areas can feel more disturbing because fewer visitors pass through them, and any sign of human presence becomes easier to notice. When a place is meant to be vacant, even one object can make everything feel completely wrong. Was it only an abandoned structure on state land or proof that someone had been using that forest when no one was supposed to be there? On April 4th, 2024, TikTok creator Dustin Frazier posted a terrifying clip filmed inside a small cabin deep in the Appalachian Mountains. In the footage, Dustin is waiting for a DoorDash delivery when sudden knocking comes from the front door. He checks outside and finds nobody there. Yet the knocking continues, so he steps onto the porch again only to find it empty once more. Then he spots someone nearby. Beyond the porch light across the narrow road between the trees, a figure stands motionless in the dark. It looks like a frail elderly woman staring directly at him. Terrified, Dustin runs back inside and hides in the bathroom. Moments later, the knocking returns louder and stronger, almost as if whoever is outside is trying to force their way in. His eyes appear watery. His breathing is strained, and the fear on his face is impossible to miss. He is alone for the night, and the entire situation feels completely unsafe. The clip cuts off suddenly. The next day, Dustin posts a follow-up from an airport terminal. Shaken and exhausted, he explains that he left his mother's cabin first thing that morning. He did not feel safe staying another night, so he booked the earliest flight and went straight to New York. As of now, no further update has been shared. There is no identity, no explanation, and no trace of the woman who stood outside his door. Maybe she was a confused stranger, or maybe being alone in a remote cabin made everything feel worse. But why did she keep knocking, and what did she want from him? The questions remain unanswered, and one thing is clear: living in the Appalachian Mountains is no joke. On February 6, 2024, the YouTube channel Walter Zollner posted footage from the Appalachian Trail near Minzy Overlook. At first, he appeared to be enjoying the hike, but before giving any details, he said something unsettling had already taken place behind him.
All right, incredible view there from Minzy Overlook. We're going to go a bit further up the AT to get to the true summit of Minzy, and then we're going to turn around. And I got to tell you about something that was very, very disturbing at the overlook up there. Really creepy. I want to get a little bit further up the trail.
As he continued farther from the overlook, the peaceful mood of the trail started to disappear.
Get some distance from the overlook before I put the camera down and talk to you about what just happened up there on a hike like this. Downright creepy stuff. All right, we are on top of Blue Mountain, this ridge all the way through Pennsylvania. And according to all trails, there's one more little lookout here. Lookout. South is the direction I came from and the direction I live in. So I'm gonna sit down here and have a little talk with you about something important. All right, guys, now I'm sitting here at the Minzy South Overlook.
When he eventually sat down, he explained that it began with faint noises coming from the brush. At first, it sounded like ordinary animal movement, which is not unusual in the woods, but the noises did not stop. Then he spotted something dark in the distance, and at first he believed it could be an animal, which did not alarm him much at that moment.
Overlook, which should have been the highlight of this whole hike, but I want to tell you what happened there because I wanted to get a little bit of distance from there. So when I got to the overlook there, I kept thinking that I heard like an animal like moving around a little bit behind me, not too far. I thought it was a small animal because in the winter time, a small animal like a squirrel or a rabbit, but I didn't think too much of it because the view was really beautiful. And I went into that lower area, and then I looked and I saw something dark and black, and I thought, oh, that could be a bear. You know, weird to be seeing a bear in the daytime in early February. And I'm looking and there's this guy, and he's like standing in a tree, all dressed in black like this. Okay, this was creepy as shit.
Before long, however, the situation shifted. He understood that it was not an animal at all. It was a person standing motionless in an odd way, concealed among the trees. He remained there briefly, but the sensation of being watched kept growing stronger. It made him leave sooner than he had originally intended. Even after moving away, he stayed alert and kept watching where that person was, as though the risk had not completely passed yet.
Okay, I'm telling you this. I'm not making this up. I got really unnerved by this, but I kept taking my couple of pictures. I didn't stay there as long as I wanted to. I never kept them, I kept my eyes in the back of my head, if you know what I'm saying. I kept I look on them. Now, I always carry this with me. It's just a 4-inch, basic buck knife. It's got a sharp blade. I don't ever want to have to use anything like this, keeping it ready. What do you do when you come across a really, really creepy person out in the woods? It's a good question. It's a tough question. First of all, trust your instincts, trust your judgment. If you get a bad vibe from someone, then trust that vibe. Try to get away from them. Try to know where they are and try to move away. Now maybe he was just a kid, like a weird kid. That's his spot. It's kind of a weird spot because it's one of the most popular places on the trail. The fact that he was just sitting up in that tree and wasn't moving, and he was also smoking something. I don't know if it was marijuana or tobacco or vape, but that's one of the creepiest things I've ever come across on a trail. I got to go back through there again to get back to my car. I don't know if he's still going to be there or not. In a way, I hope he is still there so I know where he's at so I can just go past there and move along. A lot more people are going to start coming up the trail and coming to that overlook. That's the point of doing this hike. But if I was a young woman by myself, I would have been downright scared. I probably would have turned around because I got major hair on my neck, bad vibe.
The most difficult part came when he realized he would need to go past the same location again to reach his car. That made the entire encounter feel unresolved and uncertain. As he headed back, the tension stayed with him. He kept looking forward, unsure whether the person would still be there or might suddenly appear somewhere else along the trail.
All right, we're approaching Mincy Overlook again, and keeping my eyes peeled for that strange fella. It's do I want to see him or do I not want to see him? Hopefully there's some other people up at the overlook and, everything's fine. We'll find out. Right, one last look at the water gap before we begin making our way back down the mountain this beautiful day.
When he crossed the area again, the figure was still nearby, only now in a different position. That made the encounter feel even more unusual and harder to explain.
Alright, so I made it past the Mincy Overlook. There was a young fellow there with some binoculars. That guy dressed all in black, sleeping on the ground.
Nothing directly happened, but the way that person remained there silent and still left him feeling that something was wrong.
Only 30 degrees out. It was 22 this morning. I don't know. Something's not right.
In the end, he got past safely, but the experience followed him. What do you think that person was actually doing out there that day? On May 6th, 2026, Sam of Nomad, Sam, a UK outdoor adventure channel focused on solo trips through the Scottish Highlands, went back to a hill that had stopped him once already. This time, he wanted to complete it. He left from a nearby village and almost immediately it became obvious there were no marked trails. The whole climb would be off path.
That was pretty terrifying. I almost went up to my knee in this mushy peat, super boggy. Honestly guys, if I took a few more steps there, I probably would have been waist deep. That was pretty scary. Yeah, I mean, that is just the only problem with going off the beaten track. You know, you never know what you're really walking into. That was not good. Hopefully that's the only sort of sinking mud pool that I find.
Near the beginning, a tall wire fence ran across the slope with no clear crossing point. His dog could not get over it. Sam followed the boundary until he located a narrow opening and squeezed through.
Oh my God, it's an ambulance. What? That is an ancient ambulance. I thought that was a dead sheep then. Wait, is it? I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't fancy getting inside of there, actually.
The delay took time. Rain started closing in soon after, and his progress had already been slowed. Higher on the hillside, he came across an abandoned ambulance standing by itself in the open landscape. It was decayed and provided no useful cover, but it was hard to overlook considering how isolated it was. The ground around it was rough, broken by deep holes, and concealed cracks spread across the area.
I mean about deep holes and crevices all over the place. And look, it's even claimed a victim. There's a sheep skull in there. You know, if that was sort of covered up a little bit with the shrubbery, you could easily fall straight into there.
He continued upward toward the summit. As he got closer, the conditions changed quickly. Low clouds dropped over the hill and visibility fell to nearly zero. Wind and rain strengthened, and everything around him lost its shape.
Look at this, guys. I literally cannot see my way back. But yeah, I think as I descend, it'll get a lot better. So yeah, I'm just going to make my way back down. Really just goes to show how incredibly quickly the weather can change up here. You can really get caught out.
There was no clear sight line toward the route forward or back. By then, reaching the top no longer really mattered. GPS was the only dependable tool available to navigate. Leaving the exposed hillside safely became the only thing that mattered. He made it down. The summit remained unfinished, but knowing when the weather has become more important than the target is what prevents a solo hike from turning into something far darker. Have you ever had conditions force you to turn around? This case is from the YouTube channel Midwest Ghost Hunter, where Ian records solo trips into wooded areas, abandoned places, and paranormal sites. On March 26, 2024, he went alone beginning at a place called the Red Bridge, before continuing into a nearby forest with its own troubling reputation. When Ian reached the Red Bridge, everything around him was unnaturally quiet. He started filming and tried to communicate with whatever was believed to linger there. For some time, nothing occurred.
What's up guys, Midwest Ghost Hunter here. In this video I'm going to be investigating two different locations. The first, known as the Red Bridge. It is said to be haunted by a woman who drove her car off of the bridge and was killed. If you park your car in the middle of the bridge. The second location I'm going to be investigating is called the Man Mound Park. It memorializes a giant Native American burial mound. The mound builders formed it in the likeness of a man with horns, and it is thought to represent a powerful Indian shaman or god. However, the construction of a road in 1905 destroyed the feet and the lower legs of the figure. It is thought that this desecration, unexplained mists and fogs have been seen floating through the trees. Ghostly figures have been seen appearing in the middle of the road. Visitors have also reported hearing high-pitched shrieking noises and having their cars failing to start when attempting to leave.
There she is, the Red Bridge. I think this is actually my first haunted bridge video on this channel. I'm intrigued to see if this ghost lady will come out and talk to me. Hello, my name is Ian. Is there anybody out here with me? I hear that this Red Bridge is haunted. Could you show me if it's haunted?
Then the mood changed. The quiet no longer felt normal. It felt heavier.
I got a weird feeling over here. I'm getting like a tingly feeling in my whole body. Whoa! I just heard a woman's voice. I couldn't tell what she said, but it sounded like it came from like under the bridge. Hello there. I heard you loud and clear. Are you underneath this bridge? I'm gonna try to get as far down here as I can. Hello? That's so weird. I wonder why she'd be down here. Oh my god. This is so freaking nuts. I'm literally hearing her voice echoing from down here. Ma'am, I hear you. Do you need help? Just like that. Complete silence.
That was when Ian heard it, a female voice close and distinct. He was alone. He looked under the bridge, checked the nearby area, and took pictures. Nobody was there. Still, the voice returned. He then used a spirit box and kept going.
Dude, I just seen like a figure over there. It literally looked like somebody walking over there. But there's nobody over there. Bridge. She just said bridge on here. Are you on the bridge right now? I'm gonna shut this down. Oh, holy sh! That was loud. Oh God. There's nobody out here. I'm the only one here. I can hear you clanging around over there. Oh, what the f? Oh my God. Okay, I'm freaked out. I'm freaked out. My booster light is dying. I think I had enough of this place. Oh, what the f? Oh my God. Oh God. What the f was that? She literally splashed in the water. Yeah, that's it. I'm good. I'm good.
Not long after a sharp metal impact shattered the stillness. The female voice came back this time, resembling a call for help. Moments later, a forceful splash burst from the water underneath. The voice, the impact, and the splash did not seem random. They felt connected. Ian left the bridge and continued elsewhere. Inside the forest, the experience changed.
Just to make note, there is a farm right next to here. If you hear mooing or other animal sounds, that is where that's coming from. Oh, that was a bit different. What the hell was that? Okay, that came from over here. That sounds almost like whistling. I mean, it could be coming from the wind, but I don't know. It sounds strange. Hello? Is there someone over there? I'm gonna go towards it a little bit here. Oh my God. It's getting louder. Hello? That's a donkey. Didn't think I'd be communicating with one of those. That's so strange. What could that sound be? So if I hear those whistling sounds now, I'll know that that wasn't the wind. But as of now, I think it's kind of up in the air. Okay, I'm pretty sure I just heard voices.
Whistling sounds moved through the trees, weak at first, then more obvious when he passed again. Quiet, unclear mumbling followed with no identifiable source or direction.
There's that whistling. I heard a whistle. Again. Okay, so I wasn't going crazy earlier. That just came from these woods. I'm gonna try whistling back, see what happens. Oh God, oh God. Yeah, I kinda knew better. I was warned against whistling in the woods. Oh, do I dare investigate it? Here goes. Oh gosh. I have a bad feeling about doing this. Hello? Oh my god, it literally sounds like somebody walking over there. I can literally hear him in the grass. Those were straight up footsteps over there.
The noises did not sound like animals or wind. Ian kept checking the tree line but saw nothing. No person, no motion. The footsteps he continued hearing seemed to trail him from just outside the reach of his light.
I just want you to know I would be angry too. You have every right to be angry. What the? Holy shit. Something just freaking ran right in front of me. Oh god, I nearly pissed myself. I kind of feel like I'm agitating the spirits right now. I don't think it's a good idea for me to stay much longer. Okay, I'm done. I'm out of here. That's like a high-pitched screech.
Then something passed right in front of him. A pale, fog-like form moved quickly and low across the ground, and the camera caught it. At nearly the same time, a piercing scream tore through the woods from the opposite side. The steps, the shape, and the scream all came from different areas around him. Ian understood the pattern and chose to get out. During the spirit box attempt, the term Wendigo appeared referring to a being from Algonquin belief, often associated with imitation and drawing people farther into remote places. The bridge, voice, the whistles, and the forest footsteps all seemed to follow one rhythm: noise, disorientation, escalation. Ian walked away with the video but no clear explanation. What do you believe was really out there with him that night? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story. Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.